Are you filming?
Hello, YouTubers. Today's update on the John Paul Freeman Liberty 1 case will be a little different because you will be able to hear everything right from the man himself, John Paul. This interview is from the day I published this video here, where I explained that the judge ordered John Paul to come back to court every single day until he hires a lawyer. I recorded this right after he got out of court. I have a strong feeling that the judge has already made a decision, and no matter what John Paul does, they will probably declare him guilty and force him to appeal. Keep in mind, they want to lock him up for 364 days after he was attacked for recording corrupt government employees. This is a system resulting from no accountability whatsoever. All right, John Paul, let's hear what you got. What happened today at your court date?
This is, for the record, this is John Paul Gonzalez. Today I had court in Skokie, Illinois, room 102. The judge was lady named Cantor. Yesterday, the judge told me that I have to get a lawyer. And until I get a lawyer or attorney, either private or public defender, that I am supposed to, by orders, show up every single day until I get one, by force. So today I went, and things worked out a little more different. So when I ended up going to the court, it got overheard that they were already conspiring against me, talking about me, that I was a troublemaker, and they had actually extra security today. So when they called me to the podium, they had extra security, so they had a guard, like, basically almost right next to me. Two of them, one to my right and one a little bit behind me on the left side. So they kept going with if I got an attorney, and I told them no. They kept repeating the charges, my education level. Like, they kept repeating, you sure you don't want to get an attorney? We're gonna get you an attorney. And I kept telling them that I don't understand, and I don't know, in certain questions were irrelevant, right? Because it's not the matter. The matter is that come before the court, and I have challenged jurisdiction from the get-go. So they would not even kind of let me speak. She was being real aggressive with me, where she even got really upset, angry. The states really didn't speak anything. Today I got finally discovery from the state's attorney.
And how long has it been since your first court date?
The first court date was, let me see, I got the ticket and I arrested 5/31/24. I think it was in June the first time. June?
Yep.
Early July.
June, makes sense.
Yeah, so it's been almost 11 months.
10 months.
Yeah, and I finally got something from them. Finally, I got the whatever discovery they have against me, and it's basically all the same thing. They don't have nothing. I think the only thing is the main is the USB. I was looking through the paperwork, and I think they have. And they gave me this towards the end. This is after all the intimidation tactics. This is all after trying to get me to get an attorney. After like kind of belittling me with words. They made me acknowledge that, that I received the discovery today. And they set the trial for May 12th, 9 o'clock in the morning, room 102 in Skokie. I got 10 days to file motions. They were intimidating me today with the police officers, and they also seen that I was recording. So they made me erase what I was recording, documentation for my purpose of, defending myself.
Okay, and let me stop you real quick. So they had the security there already? The extra security was already there before that, right?
Yeah, so they had already two in there. There's usually one, but this time they had two. And then when they called me, they also got a white shirt in there, so it was three.
But yesterday there was only one.
Yeah, yesterday there was only one. Yeah.
Okay. real quick, can you explain? I think a lot of people are not going to understand. Can you explain why you don't want one of their defenders?
Yes, so I've been doing a little bit of study myself. Now, I'm not professing to be the smartest guy in the world, or, I'm just a regular man, the common man, just like anybody else, but I have been doing my own little studies. So, since I have never pleaded guilty or not guilty from the get-go, and I have gone a special appearance is different from general appearance, right? So when you have a general appearance and you go, you give the court jurisdiction over your person. So then you're not able to bring that stuff to court down the road because you already give jurisdiction over your person. Now, when you go on special appearance, the sole purpose of special appearance is to challenge the jurisdiction subject matter at hand. And they have to prove it. And by the case laws that have been gone through the Supreme Court, state and federal, once a man or a woman challenges jurisdiction, it is the duty of the state's attorney, the public servant, to bring forth the facts. And it is said that once you challenge it, the court case cannot go forward without the state showing proof that they have subject matter jurisdiction over the man or the woman. Now, if I get an attorney, either public defender or an attorney on the private side, I essentially giving up my rights, and I'm giving them jurisdiction over my person, because now I have given my rights to the attorney, and the attorney's working for my person, and now they have jurisdiction over me. Now I can't speak nothing. I become a ward of the state. And from what I read is that an attorney, right, because I guess they're all barred, right, the bar, their duty on paperwork, right, in their own laws, in their own rules, their first duty is to the court and not to the client. So once I do that, and I sign over my name on that paper for either a public defender or an attorney, private, I essentially just giving up my rights. Now I'm limited in what I could do and say to defend myself.
Right.
That's the main reason never wanted to get that. Now, like I said, I never even pleaded guilty. I haven't even pleaded not guilty or guilty because I challenged the jurisdiction. So they should have never moved forward according to law.
Right.
And that's my main reason that I never got an attorney. And this is the reason they kept pushing on me every single time, an attorney. And I kept telling them no. I told them I'm going per persona, see juries, meaning I'm going to defend myself.
Yeah, per se.
That's the main reason.
So, and it's a valid question for them too, because it's state employees in a state building, and it's a county court.
No, and that's the reason. It's like another thing too is that, if one part is just one party against you. So now if I go and give myself to an attorney, they're licensed by the bar, which is a private organization, which it's the same team. No matter how you see it, it's the same team.
Right.
And that's why I hesitated on getting an attorney, because when I started reading this information, it made me question, why do they keep pushing on me an attorney, knowing that from the get-go I already challenged the jurisdiction. And I told them too, I asked them, I was like, well, I don't want to go forward. I don't want to plead until I get some questions answered, and they never answered this question. They were getting upset with me. They were kicking me out of the court. They were threatening me, mocking me, saying ridiculous, calling me stupid and all type of language, right?
Yeah.
Even though I didn't say nothing back to them.
Yeah, and you mentioned that Stephen, our friend Stephen, was there, not in your presence, and he heard them talking about you? Yes. Wow. And then that's another thing. We've all heard stories about public defenders and how hard they work or don't work, and how hard they push you towards just pleading guilty. That's why they stack charges, so they make it seem like you're getting a deal. And we've all heard stories like that. And then I don't want to give too much away because that's going to be another story that we're going to publish at a later time about Stephen and what his public defender tried to do to him. But that's all stuff you have to, worry about also is, yeah, they know how to file the paperwork, but they're not really there to help you. They might actually hurt you.
Yes, and you could say I'm kind of like a seasoned veteran, right? Because I've gone through this before. Yeah, you might look me up and, yeah, oh my goodness, a big rap sheet, but 3 of those, with this one, 3 in total, they're all fake and phony. And I've seen this. I pleaded guilty before back in 2009, 2010, just because I didn't want to be in the system. I just want to go home to my family. Even though I didn't do nothing wrong, they conspired again. Like this is what they do. It's all about money. It's all about money. Human trafficking within the courts. They don't really care about justice. Maybe 1 or 2. I'm not saying everybody, right? But at the end of everything, it's a business. It's a big business. And I myself have experienced that. So like this time around, especially what happened with the federal government, they left me hanging, and that was a private attorney that left me hanging in trial, and they don't even touch the points of the Constitution. It's like everybody's scared of the law of the land. Like, they don't want to talk about it. So this is another reason that I just started reading here, a little bit here, a little bit there, just in case I needed the knowledge to defend myself or a loved one or somebody that I know that I care for, you know what I'm saying? Because I seen too much evil, too much wickedness, and people are cold-hearted. Right? And what I'm saying is that the best thing to do for any man or woman is to learn for themselves. Right? What we think we know, we don't really know. I give everybody an example. Like, if you were to look in Black Law Dictionary, the definition of a driver, to the common people, it's like, you're using a car, moving back and forth, right? That's to us, but we're driving, right? Yeah. But once you step into this courtroom, the legalese language is English, but it has a different meaning. It's kind of like the 1984 movie Doublespeak, right? So when you look at Black Law Dictionary, a driver is someone employed for commerce, right? For a gain of profit. They're engaged in a business. They're employed by somebody to make money, right? Like CTA, Uber, Lyft. You're working for commerce, right? That's their definition, not ours, theirs. Right? So it's like, you go to the courts, legalese, it's English, but a different language, And that's another reason that I started learning a little bit to defend myself, and that's another reason I didn't get an attorney. So it's like we are so caught up with common English, but legalese English is different, way different, way different. And they speak in a different manner, and to us, we think it's just regular stuff, man, but and they understand. I guess they do understand when you speak to them in their language, and that's why they get upset. Because see, when you're in them courtrooms and you see the process, everybody just falls in line. Yes, I'll pay it. I'll plead guilty. So people don't really knowledgeable what's happening, and they think that it's just regular English, and it's not. It's not. That's the main reason. One of the reasons that I ended up picking up and studying a little bit in case situations like this happen. So every time they came up to me talking about you're gonna get a lawyer, you're gonna get an attorney, and I kept telling them no. They won't, and when they wanted me to, right? Right. And I just wouldn't say, and I say no, and they got mad. They get mad. They know they're breaking law. They know they're breaking their oath to the Constitution, state and federal, and yet there's no accountability, and it's dangerous. We're living in dangerous times.
So I know that the viewers all hear me say this, but it'd probably help if they hear you say it. If you have a court date coming up on the 12th, and do you want them to come and watch protest on the sidewalk in front of the courthouse? What What would help the most?
I would want people. Okay, so if whoever's listening to me, this is an SOS calling, for help. If you're an able body, if you got time, this is not just about me. It's about justice, what's right rulings. Not just for me, but for yourself too, because they're doing it to everybody, right? When they say they do it to one, they do it to all. If you could come, be in the courtroom, that'll be awesome. Have people to be in the courtroom, and if people want to be outside too, if they don't want to go into the courtroom, outside. But I think, I believe that it's more powerful if they see we the people in the courtroom, and go there respectfully. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to make everybody, be all crazy, but everybody got their own ways. You know what I'm saying? I can't stop. That's freedom, right? I can't stop what another does. The main thing is that they need to know and understand that there is people watching, and people do care and have a heart. That they're not heartless like they are. That they care what's happening, and that it's an injustice what they're doing to not just me, but it's happening to many people. And when they had punished me for 11 days at the Division 11 Max for this misdemeanor, people are sitting there for months and months and months for misdemeanors, for things that have no victim. So, and a lot of us don't have support. You go to those courtrooms, there's nobody there. Nobody helping them. We're there by ourselves. They're picking everybody. They're pickpocketing everybody little by little. And since they see there's no support, no backbone to people, they get away with it. That's why they don't want people recording. They don't want people doing what's right, because they're doing so much evil and wickedness. And if anybody does come, please, I'll be thankful and grateful for you. I'm not, like I said, I'm not asking for any financial support. I care less about money. I care less about material stuff. I honor and I respect more is, justice, it's integrity, love, respect. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I appreciate that if anybody's willing and interested, because this affects all of us, not just me, everyone, every single man and woman, and your sons.
Absolutely.
And the next generation.
Absolutely. And real quick, we're at the 19-minute mark. I don't know if I'll keep this in, but real quick, since I have you on the phone, can you run through what happened that day at the DMV from just a few, the few minutes before the recording started till, let's say, when Krusty, the security guard, tackled you? Everything in between there.
I'm gonna tell everything that I recall real quick. So that day I went just to renew my plate sticker. I was there with my 5-year-old grandma. She was waiting in the car, waiting for me to come back. I was not there, no auditing or anything like that. I just wanted to renew. So I talked to a gentleman in the front. They were talking about ID, and I never understood why. So I had to talk to a manager. That's when I got sent to the lady that you see on the video.
Gail.
So the lady on the video was demanding that I have an ID or driver's license, or they're not gonna service me. So then I asked for another one above her, somebody above her, to find out, because I asked her to give me the rules or the law that says that I got ID. Now she said no. So it's like I asked for somebody else. That's when I took out the phone and wanted to know, why can't I get the paperwork, right? I mean, if they're public employees and you're asking for just paperwork so I can see it for myself, and just take it with me. I mean, I have my ID in the car. I just want to get the paperwork, go back in the car and come back and whatever, just submit to what they're telling me. So, as soon as I started, she started talking to me in that manner that she wasn't going to service me. So I took my phone now, and that's when security came, Krusty came, and Telemail came and got it on my face. From there on, you seen the interaction, and And I only took out my phone to record for safety purposes because I know how things happened before. So after that, when they took me down, he was on top of me, which I lost consciousness for a while here and there. And then 16th District Police came, and that's another thing that they're missing, right? Their body cams and 16th District. The paramedics came afterwards. They took me to the hospital. They wouldn't even give me water. I was real thirsty. Like, I was like super dehydrated. They wouldn't want to give me water or anything. And on top of that, they, without my consent, they drugged me. They put volume in my body without my consent. They put drugs in me. They took me to the hospital. They had me chained up like an animal. I kept begging for water and help. And then the doctor with another cop was conspiring, talking about, oh, he looks like he's on fentanyl or some type of heroin. They were trying to put some type of, make me like a druggie or something, like a junkie, right? And then afterwards, they kind of like, they grabbed me, they locked me up. They put me in a wheelchair because I couldn't even walk from the hospital to the cop car, the 16th District cop car. There was some female. And then, they kind of like pushed me forward towards the back of the seat. I hit the side of the door. And from there on, what I recall is they, instead of taking me to the 16th District, they took me to the Niles Police Department. In Niles Police Department, that's where they processed me, and they gave me the charge there. And they released me from there. And that's when my mother and a friend of hers picked me up that night.
So that was the Chicago police transported you to the hospital, and then they transported you to Niles Police Department?
That's correct.
That's bizarre.
It is. And then, because even the last judge that heard me after the 11-day punishment, he was confused too. Why is it that from the state DMV, they took me to Niles Police Department, and they're the ones that process me on paperwork, but it's the state that is prosecuting me, right? Like the DMV is the one.
Right.
So there's confusion there. Something's going on that I don't even understand.
Wow. And that's the other thing. So they're claiming that you assaulted or battered Krusty, the security guard. Not only him, but all 3 or 4 of the employees that were standing in front of you?
Three of them. The little guy Garcia said that Angel Mel said that I pushed them and I spit at them.
Yeah, that's what we saw in the video. Is he made that up out of nothing. He was like, "Stop spitting on me," because he went within like 3 inches of your face as you were talking. Right?
Yes.
There was no time for you to spit.
They conspired on paperwork. Because I just got it today where they wrote down that I even pushed them. That'll
be good for the deposition when you ask them who helped you write this out, this complaint. Deposition, that'll happen. I think that's later, but the examination, when you have them on the stand in court, I think that'll be a fun question for them to answer. Who helped you write this complaint? Yeah,
so there's something they're covering up. They're hiding stuff. They conspire. They're lying tongues. Like the video, they don't want the video that I have because it shows my innocence, and I keep and they keep refusing.
Oh yeah.
And then the judges,
I think you forgot to mention that part for what happened in court today.
Yeah, so I did. I was like, I got the CD. I can give you one right now to you and the state, so you guys can review it right now, so we get this thing dismissed. No, you can't do that. You can't give that. We can't, because I'm like, why not? This just shows my innocence. And then the stage is like, well, we have our video, and so they just basically, they don't want to hear my side. They don't want to accept what I have. They're just railroading and everything.
Well, that's another thing you can ask them on the stand. Show me in your video where I spit on you.
They don't really got no evidence. I mean, they don't even have DNA proof. But like I said, I told them, I was like, look, I got the DMV rules and regulations. They're supposed to behave like professionals.
those rules are as good as toilet paper. After that one line where the Secretary of State states that the United States Constitution, or the First Amendment of the Constitution, gives him the right to limit recording in his buildings.
Yeah, so yeah, you know, and they show intimidation tactics by having police surrounding me. You could tell that one of the securities, one of the deputies left to me. He was just so eager to put his hands on me. He was like with gloves and everything. I know the lady that was there. She had a body cam rolling. Supposedly everything's on record, even on video. So, but all the judges it was about me. See, in total, I think it's been 1, 2, 3, like maybe 5 judges in total, 5, 6 judges that I've seen, all different. No names. None of them have names. None of them. The last judge that heard me when I did my 11 days punishment, he also had something slick to tell me. And he's like, yeah, well, you know what? Let's keep this one on a short leash, right? Like a dog, like an animal, right? So that's why they only gave me like a 7-day period. And then there's another judge. It was super disrespectful. I never caught his name. I gotta look for it. When I get the opportunity, I'll change it. I think that was the second or third judge, the third judge that I seen. And he almost had his people put hands on me. He mocked me, disrespected me, kicked out my counsel, not just from the court area, outside the building. So it's like it's a mockery of justice, of the law, of the Constitution, the federal, the state, the oath that they take before God and man, heaven and earth to protect. They just do opposite. So they have this monopoly on power, and they expect everybody just to fold in place. And I guess that's why they didn't like the way I spoke, even though I wasn't even speaking, but I was just speaking their language, and they get upset. Yeah. So yeah. That's the main thing, and I still I ain't got no push. I got no body cams from 16th District. And there was a whole bunch of cops there, and I think they didn't even give no FOIAs now for after that takedown with the ambulance. Now they gave me on the discovery, they gave me that day wasn't the hospital, but that's it. You know, like I gotta review all this stuff this in a couple of days. So I'll give you more information as I keep reviewing what they have.
All right.
Anything else?
No. Just keep me posted. Thanks for taking the time to explain the whole thing for the viewers.
Yeah.
And
all right.
We'll have to do this again when this is all over.
Mark on the ticket, there's a subject out here with a high-powered video camera. I'm not suspicious, I'm mysterious. There's a difference.